Hi, Steve Willems here from NAI Keystone Commercial Industrial.
And Brian Cole. I'm here to do the office year-to-date 2020 report.
I'm going to talk about the industrial state of affairs in Berks County.
Steve, you're not looking too well. Have you had your temperature checked
I haven't
recently?
had my temperature checked. I think I need it.
Well, look at that. I have a thermometer right here.
Shazam!
Whoa, Steve, you lost some weight.
You know what? I feel different. I don't know what's going on.
Whoa.
How about you? Are you feeling all right?
I feel okay. Well,
I don't know. Let me give me that thermometer. I want to get your temperature.
Whoa.
Wow, Brian. I've been to 3 county fairs. I've never seen anything like this before. I guess we're going to have to do the market reports for ourselves.
Okay.
Why don't you start off with the office?
All right, that works. So office in Berks County is doing okay. We've seen a uptick in activity. We've seen quite a bit of deals that have gotten done. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on how we arrive at our vacancy rates and how we arrive at some of our average rental rates. So for suburban Berks County, we track all of the office buildings in the suburban market and all of the office buildings in the downtown market. The suburban market, we currently track 78 Class A office buildings. We track 229 Class B office buildings for a total of 7.4 million square feet of total suburban office product. That includes both general office and medical assets. For downtown, we track 9 Class A office buildings and 40 Class B office buildings for a total of 2.5 million square feet of office and medical product. So our vacancy rates for the suburban market coming from beginning of 2020 to the end of third quarter, we have a 4.5% vacancy rate for Class A suburban office buildings. That's compared to 4.83% at the end of 2019. For Class B suburban office buildings, we have a vacancy rate of about 18%. That's compared to 18.5% for the end of 2019. For downtown, again, using the same parameters, we have a 7.5% Class A vacancy rate compared to 7.7% for the end of 2019, and a 23% vacancy rate for Class B office buildings compared to 23% for the end of 2019. However, we feel this is going to change dramatically due to some of the buildings that are currently in these asset classes that are going to be switched over because of some of the redevelopment that's happening in downtown Reading. As far as the rental rates, so rates have remained relatively flat, which honestly is not surprising given the current climate that we're in. So for Class A office buildings in the suburban markets, we have a $22 a square foot average number. Class Bs are plus minus $20 a square foot. Class A in downtown markets are looking to be $13.7. Coming into 2020, as far as the market sectors, the market overall was strong. There's been numerous expansions by Penn State Health, Tower Health, along with other positive developments in the heart of Wyomissing, specifically surrounding the VF outlets. Where we are now, users are still expanding. We have quite a bit of activity that's taken place. However, a lot of that activity is smaller users rather than larger corporations expanding their footprint. There's been a few of those deals done. However, they started at the end of 2019 and going into the first quarter of 2020 and were finally executed mid-year. As far as the investment market, it's still hard to find quality product. The product that's out there is still commanding low cap rates for longer term credit tenant deals. And there's many variables that are driving this, including interest rates, the amount of money that's on the street due to the lack of product. So that's what I have for the office overall report. Steve, would you jump in for the industrial side?
I'd be happy to, Brian. Thanks. That was great data, great information on the office side. On the industrial side, we've been tracking the market for 20 plus years. We track right now 509 industrial buildings that are over 10,000 feet in the county. The newest the newest buildings that we've seen, I call the Berks logistics set. And these are the high, big buildings that we see across I-78. And if you've driven through Hamburg lately, Hamburg and Shoemakersville, there's some tremendous assets that have been built there. 34, 35-foot clear height. Beautiful construction. The county right now is absolutely on a tear from an industrial perspective, absorbing over 2.5 million square feet this year, which is more than any time on record heretofore. We've got a big shift in the industrial market is due in part to the pandemic. We were transitioning to an e-commerce economy where you see the large million square foot boxes to handle the Amazons of the world, and that was on a slow and steady climb. It is now, with the pandemic, everyone is shopping at home, so that curve has jumped just straight up. Everyone involved in the e-commerce supply chain is trying to find buildings. Other manufacturers, certain manufacturers that provide goods or services or products used in that supply chain are also doing well. Specifically, we've had 3 different plastics companies have grown substantially. These are companies that are, in some cases, owned by the parent companies are overseas, and they've made the decision to ramp up production, doubling and tripling production. So it all spells good things for the industrial market. The vacancy rate is down from prior quarter, almost a full point. That is largely due to Amazon, which took 1 million square feet up on I-78 at the Charlottesville exit, at the I-78 Trade Center in first quarter. They've just leased another 600,000 feet at 1002 Patriot Parkway, that building behind Cartec. So these are all good things that are happening. The supply is less than what we need. People are looking for specific items, specific buildings, not many to pick from. That pressure has made rates go up anywhere from 50 to 75 cents to $1 a square foot, which is quite a jump, as our rent growth has been relatively slow up to now. We should all know that we're still in a very good spot because Lehigh Valley is probably $1 a square foot higher. So we're in a good spot. We're just a little bit further, from the Lehigh Valley, from the Northeast, but we've got we do have some buildings available that are less expensive than theirs. We do have good workforce available. We have infrastructure available, and because of the rates being lower, and I would argue that the cost of workforce is lower. People can buy homes here cheaper than they can in the Lehigh Valley. Hence, the rates of pay are a little bit less. So we provide value, infrastructure, and workforce are driving factors in keeping these buildings full. So that's a high level overview. I hope that helps.
It does. That's great information, Steve. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Hey, go right ahead.
All right. So other than, you mentioned Amazon, are you aware of other specific users that are now going to call Berks home?
Yes, but I can't tell you. We're signed to confidentiality agreements on 2 different deals right now. There are other people looking at our market. There are other people other than Amazon that are also in the e-commerce sector that have taken blocks of space. The Berks Park 78 is full. All those buildings are full. The latest one was Samsung. Consumer products, and there's people out there looking for more space.
That's good. That's good to hear. What about the older, lower ceiling spaces? Now that these taller, more streamlined facilities are coming online, what are you seeing be getting done with the the older facilities?
Well, we have two sets of older and lower ceiling spaces in our area. We still have the old legacy knitting mills, that are multi-story. And frankly, we do not count those in our stats when I do the percentages, which is different than how CoStar counts them. But, think about some of the buildings downtown that are 120,000 square feet plus that have been vacant for 15 years, that are 3-4 stories tall, on very small lots. They're just functionally obsolete. The other second and third generation buildings that are just lower ceilings, that maybe it's an 18-foot ceiling, but it still has some a dock access and a drive-in door, usually a tighter column spacing. Those are being used by pick and pack operations, assembly, light fabricating, and they trade at a lower rate. So they definitely fill a spot. There's a niche for those buildings.
Yeah, that's great. That's great information, Steve. Thank you.
Hey, Brian, what on the office side? I'm driving around town off the West Shore bypass. You see a big building, must be 3 or 4 stories. You see it. It looks like it's kind of behind Vanity Fair, behind VF. What's going on there?
Sure. So that's going to be home to the new Drexel Medical School, which is in partnership with Tower Health. Right now, they're proposing it as, actually it's under construction, but it was proposed as 150,000 square feet with 300 plus students. So it's great for the area, and hopefully it creates additional growth, not only in the immediate area, but also in the surrounding areas.
Wow, Drexel in concert with Tower Health. That's big stuff.
It is. It's exciting for the area.
Yeah. What about behind 2001 State Hill Road? There's a building that almost looks like a hotel or.
Are you referring to 2001 State Hill Road, where we have a few vacant spaces for lease, which you can find at naikeystone.com?
Yeah, I suppose I am.
Oh, okay. That's behind that building is plans for a hotel, or under construction for a hotel, which was proposed for 127 keys. So I think it's going to be a great addition to Wyomissing, and hopefully stays occupied often.
Okay. All right. As long as they clean the rooms well, right?
That's right. That's right. Obviously.
All right. All right. You touched on downtown. I know that, obviously we just sold the Reading Eagle building, which we were happy to do. And there's some energy for adaptive reuse and redevelopment in the city. It seems we're at a good spot there.
We are. So there's definitely some exciting things happening in downtown Reading at the moment. And I know, from past experiences, there's going to be some folks who think or believe they've seen this before and have heard the talk before, and they may be right. However, there's a few very big differences this time around. One, there's an end user who's bringing people downtown, and more people being the younger folks to downtown Reading, which will ultimately need food, entertainment, and living. So it's a perfect segue to a live-work-play scenario. Secondly, there are groups that are not only making noise, but more importantly, they're spending money as a private developer, and they're from out of town. These are folks utilizing their own money to help improve downtown by purchasing assets and closing on those assets, most importantly. And they are bringing outside money with a different vision, which I believe is what the city needed. This is what we have been pushing for quite some time. And you need to bring the young people downtown, which will help bring money from outside the area and hopefully expand on the growth.
Makes a lot of sense. That's good. It's good stuff. Okay. Well, that wraps up kind of the high points. I do want to mention that we at NAI Keystone, we do have many top-level brokers that are open to working with you as you have questions, as you have needs, if you have a property that you're thinking about disposing of, if you have a lease and you need more space, less space, if you're in a building that's contracting, there's always somebody that can help you do that, right size your business into the property. I would welcome you to call our number or get our website and talk to some of our brokers. We've got good folks here.
Yeah, that's great information, Steve. Thank you. Well, Steve, I have another question for you. So across from the Reading Airport, there's a new facility being built right across 222. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I can, Brian. It's a piece of land that we sold to UGI Utilities, and they're going to erect. Well, they actually are erecting a training center there. Drove by the other day, and it looks like they're more than halfway. They're framed up and getting ready to dry it in. So that's going to be a nice asset in that area. On the other side of the airport, on the 183 side, the Behavioral Health Center is pretty well completed at this point.
Who was the hospital behind that?
Tower Health,
Okay.
in concert with Acadia Healthcare. Acadia engaged me to find and locate a land site, and we secured 82 acres. This is a $45 million complex, which is tax-paying. It's not a nonprofit. It's quite a thing for Bern Township. So you see a lot of growth there. And you'll see more with the non-aviation land that was sold, and the Industrial Development Authority has 2 of their larger lots under contract to be developed by other people. So a lot of activity in Bern Township right now.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Hey, Brian, I know that our group gets involved in commercial buildings and also some retail. I'm curious because retail is kind of on its back leg with the pandemic. Any news there?
Sure. Well, I obviously the retail commercial front, it's still very much evolving. However, there's no doubt the retail world is in a little bit of limbo at the moment. However, retailers such as grocery stores, automotive facilities, and drive-through dining have been chugging along and probably have realized huge earnings because of the current climate. We'll most likely see some restaurants adapting to drive-through or curbside pickup opportunities well after COVID ends. As far as the malls, there's no doubt that they're gonna be completely different for the.
Well, Fairgrounds is gone pretty much, isn't it?
They are. It is. It's quite a bit of it's already been knocked down. So I don't know exactly what the plans are, but there's no doubt that these large malls are going to be repurposed to something completely different. A lot of them sit on good real estate as in good markets, infill sites. So I think you're going to see quite a bit of these malls redeveloped to something else.
Okay, great, thanks.
You're welcome.
Hey, get out of my chair.
Whoa, who are these guys?
Hey, don't worry, guys. We did the report for you.
Well, thanks. Well, hopefully you guys did a good job.
I'll tell you what, guys. We always have fun in Wyomissing.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining. Hi, Steve Willems here from NAI Commercial Industrial.
I'm Brian Cole, and we're here to
Can we do that again?
Yeah. And we're here to do the office and industrial reports for year-to-date 2020.
Thanks for joining us. We're going to have some fun today. Although I'm not feeling real well.
No, we got to start over. I'm over here dying, dude.